has a song about the house that built me. I was blessed with 2 homes that built me. One with my parents in Plum Grove, and the other one was in the city limits of Cleveland with my Aunt Connie and Uncle Dwight. My Aunt Connie and Uncle Dwight they were simple people. They didn't require a lot of material things, and to visit them was like stepping back in time. Aunt Connie didn't have Facebook or social media. She didn't have Wi-Fi or a smartphone. She still has an answer machine with her voice proudly announcing, "You've reached Mom and Pa." She wanted to keep the same phone number when they moved to their house just outside of Cleveland on Stevens Road. It's been the same number since I was a kid, and I can still remember it by heart. I was the child that somewhat filled the void until her miracle daughter was born. 13 years of being barren, and I had her all to myself for 8 years of it. Although she did keep other nieces and nephews as well from time to time. I had a young mom who worked, and being spoiled by my Aunt Connie during the day was a blessing for all 3 of us. My first memory of seeing the downtown skyscrapers, as Dad said, was riding into Uncle Dwight's 18-wheeler. We were talking about that day. I have no idea where we were going, but I remember being so happy. I remember wheelbarrow rides, sitting on top of a pile of leaves, and that was a big deal to me because we didn't do that in the country. I remember sitting on top of her washer and dryer, and I'd laugh how it shook me. I remember yard sales she'd have at her house with her sister since she lived in town, the perfect location for that. She'd make her famous tuna salad, which we actually made today in her honor for lunch. I loved it. And she'd have the garage sales with her sisters, and she'd put a few shoes in there in the garage sale that didn't even have matches, and they would make fun. They were picking at her about it. I remember Uncle Dwight smoking his pipe, but as Dad said, that's in my memory about, I don't remember her even smoking, but apparently the prayers did work. I was 8 when Susie arrived and already in school. I had a little sister at home, and my mom was able to stay home, so I didn't really stay with Aunt Connie as much, but Susie brought in a whole new level of her, of being spoiled and loved. She was the daughter they had prayed for, the one God blessed her with after they were prayed for at church. Every coloring page in the coloring books was ripped out and taped to the walls to display. She wore all the frilly dresses and socks. She took tons of pictures. She was so proud of her. They were excellent parents. They brought her to church. She was 7th in her class, graduated high school and college, and became a teacher. I was a few months shy of being 20 when she called and said there was a blonde-haired guy at church she thought I would like to meet. His name was Jake, and he played the drums. My sister and I went to investigate one Wednesday night, and afterwards Jake suggested we all go to Whataburger, including Aunt Connie, Susie. I'm not sure if Uncle Dwight was there. I'm sure he was. 3 months later, he proposed, and 3 months later, we were married. Almost 26 years later, Aunt Connie still would act nervous that she made the right decision and said she'd never set anyone up again. But I say she did a great job. Aunt Connie lived for her grandkids, saving me. Her house was a kid's paradise. Bo and Ezra also loved going to play at her house. It could be called a toy museum. I mean, it was just for kids. It was awesome. Still is. But Bo, he would go with Mom, and he'd visit, and Ezra hadn't been yet. And so finally Ezra got to tag along, and he walked in the door and says, "Bo, you were right. This is the best place ever." And of course, Aunt Connie was always ready with their flip phone and her old school camera to take a picture. I will miss her showing up late for our annual Fuller reunions. Last October was the first exception. She showed up on time and was one of the last to leave. She shared so many stories of our family history and enjoyed putting puzzles together with some of her nieces and nephews like Colt. In her final days, when her mind was slipping, she wanted to keep her prayer cloth in her hands. It didn't matter that she thought that the paper towel tube was the prayer cloth, but she was asking for it. She asked for a Bible, she asked for prayer, And when she could write, she wrote small passages from the Bible. She never complained. She was always positive and would say, God's got it. There is such peace in knowing she kept her faith until she gained her eternal heavenly reward. Aunt Connie, I'll miss you terribly. But I hope to promise that we'll meet again soon and very soon. And y'all just hold her beautiful family up in your prayers because she loves those babies so much. And so I know it's going to be an adjustment, but we love y'all. We're here for you. And this was a song that was requested by the family, so we're going to play it.